Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to attempt to do a short little stream here showing how I added a VST plugin into OBS. VST plugins are something used by digital audio workstation software that allow you to add virtual effects, virtual compressors, virtual equalizers, all kinds of things like that. Rather than having the actual equipment in a sound studio to plug into, you just add these virtual things. So this is just going to be simple though. So first thing you need to do is get your plugins. I'm assuming you already have OBS, and the main person I'm recording this for has OBS. You need to find the plugins. So you're going to first go to www.reaper.fm. And this brings up Reaper's a digital audio workstation software. They have some free VST plugins. You scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and you'll see down here it says REA Plugs, REA Plugs. Click on that, and it'll bring up this information out. And there's a whole bunch of different ones in there, but these are just free ones that Reaper offers for use in other software that can handle VST plugins. You're most likely going to want the one that says 64-bit because 32-bit computers aren't around much anymore. If they are, if you have one, that's here. But you're going to go the 36-bit one. Your browser software is going to have a different way of downloading files. This is how mine does it. Yours may automatically put it somewhere. Mine, I have to go in and tell it I want it here. I happen to put mine in my downloads folder. I've created a folder called Reaper, and this is actually the Reaper program, and then I just throw the Reaper plugins file in here. It's already there, so I'm not going to download it again. So once you download it and get it where you want it, then you can kill this. Now you're going to need to actually extract the files and put them somewhere that OBS can find them. Most programs allow you to tell them where your VST plugins are at. OBS looks in the standard places that those plugins have traditionally been installed. Different audio workstation softwares have had places they put them. The company that created the format, has a path. Don't worry about that, because when you go into the program and run it, it's gonna go through all your standard Windows steps. Hopefully this is all streaming right. I'm just capturing the display, and I haven't done this before. Just leave this all default. You want all the plugins. Tell it next, and it says I'm going to put them here. Don't change this. Leave it in the C:\program files VST plugins REA plugs, because this program files VST plugins is one of the folders that OBS will look in by default for these plugins. I've already got them installed, so I'm not going to run the installer, but I will show you where it puts them. Yes, I'm going to cancel. So now, once you've done that, if you go in and look on your C drive, program files, not x86, program files, you should now have a VST plugins folder, which will have this REA plugs folder in it. And then this is all the stuff expanded. Don't worry about any of the stuff. You don't need to change it. Once you've done that, your plugins are available for OBS to use. Now I'm going to drag the OBS window over to the main screen, and you're going to get that million repeated images effect. Oops. Maybe I can't tell what it looks like or not, but you should be seeing this screen, and then over here might be showing the screen inside of the screen and the screen. Anyways, this is the OBS plugins window. You will already have this set up if you're running OBS, and somewhere in your setup you will have your microphone. Now mine's right here. How you do this, might change, because right now this is my active. This is the window that's streaming. This is the background one. But the changes here, as you can see, my sources where I can click on them aren't here. Because this window is the one that's showing down here. You can, however, get to them through these things here. I'll show you how I do it. You'll have possibly your own way. So I'm going to switch it to the program screen. So now this is on both sides. That makes it a little easier for me. So I go through here and I find the microphone that I want to add this VST effect. Mine happens to be called One Samson. Yours might be default. Whichever one is making this happen up here. You want to right click on it and then go to filters. You already have the mic set up. You click on filters and you can add filters. And you can see I've already got noise suppression, EQ, and something called DS. Noise suppression. This is just the OBS plugin. You might have a gate or something like that. You're going to want these before your EQ. I only have the suppression a little bit to suppress what's going on in the background. And then the EQ, I can open this interface. Let me first show you how to add it though. If you don't have either of these yet, you just have noise suppression, guess, something like that, you're going to want to add the VST plugin. To do that, you go down and click on your plus and pick an option, and it happens to have down here VS2X plugins. Click that. This is just so you can give a name to this filter if you want. It doesn't really matter what's here. Once you say OK, it will then add this plugin. That's how mine here says EQ. I named it. It's EQ instead of VS2 plugin. Once you have your plugin, whatever you've called it, then you need to select a plugin. So you'll go up on here, and you're going to go down, and you want the one that says RIA Gate, RIA X Comp, RIA Stream, RIA EQ. Here it is. RIA EQ standalone. Click on that, and then open the plugin interface, and you will get this window. Now you see nothing happening in mine right now because this one's after some other stuff and I haven't enabled it. But once you have this in here, okay, properly in the path, let me take this out of here and go to the one that I have in here, EQ. And then I open the interface, it will look like this. And you can see all this stuff going woo, 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 woo. So if you look, when you first open this, let me show you what it looked like when you first open it. VS2 plugin, okay, re-EQ. These things are all even and nothing's happening. But when they first have them, this one will be red and these will be white. But they'll all be flat like this. So let's go back into the mine. Okay, so if you notice in mine, the red one's been pulled down. Basically, this equalizer allows you to adjust things in 4 different places. And down here you have the 1, 2, 3, 4. Whichever tab you're on, notice now the 2 changed to red. The 3 changed to red. That tells you which one these adjustments are for. So then you can get in and you can play with these faders. You know, this one's by default set to be a high shelf. 3 is just a band. 2 is a band. 1 will be set by default at high pass, I believe. Let me just check that, make sure I'm not lying. VS2 plugins, okay. Select a plugin. I'm doing this because this one's already been configured. These two are exactly the same right now. Just this one's already been configured. So I'm opening this one so I know what the defaults look like so I don't lie. RIA EQ standalone, plugin interface. Right now it's set for low shelf. So remember that. On mine, on mine, it is set to high pass. What a high pass filter does is it passes everything above where you've sent it. So if you look and see how this curve's going here, if I were to put this back up to where it was by default, why are you not letting me change you? Oh, I see. Okay. This add band, remove band, show tab, show grid. don't understand why it's not letting me move it. Probably, I know why. Because this is a high pass filter, it's going to put it on this line. And you're just going to drag it. So if you look, if I took this all the way back here, you can see how high the bass areas are. Just for interest, let me be quiet for a second. And you can see there's some noise down at that level. I'm going to turn my fan up to high in here. So you should be able to hear some noise. Okay, that's the noise generated by my fan. And I want to make that go away. So what I did is I took this and I just drag it in like that. And you'll see those bumps starting to go down. You just want it in a little bit. You don't want a huge difference. But you can see kind of here in the background, there's a faded one. That's what it is without the EQ on it. And this is what's coming out after. So now if I be really quiet, you can see it's still there a little bit, but it's not bad. Now that's an extreme example because that fan's really high. Let me put it where I normally keep it. It's the ceiling fan I'm talking about. Okay, so now if this wasn't here, you see I've got all this noise from the fan. So you'll have to kind of play with this to see. Now, there's a way you can monitor this to hear exactly what you're doing, but it's best because that'll get you into feedback. I mean, I don't tend to play with that. Best bet is to look at this visually, be quiet and watch for where the noise is. And whatever the noise profile is in your house, you'll hear something. You'll see something here. So be quiet and then do this. Just slowly drag it in. Until it's killed most of that noise. It keeps it down at the low. So off. I'm getting this yellow signal coming up here. That's when I'm not talking, it's just the fan you're hearing. And so what I want to do is be quiet, pull that red out a little bit until it kind of pulls down that low rumbling. You want to be drastic with this because you can see it might kill some of your stuff here too. Now, this isn't killing it too bad. Let me turn it off. If I talk with it off, see, it's not affecting me too much. This is staying here. All it's messing with is what's down here. The noise from the fan when I'm being quiet. So you just pull it out just a little bit. You want to be really gentle with these things. There, so that's got most of the noise down. So you won't hear the rumble, but it shouldn't affect your voice too much. Now you can get crazy in here. You can adjust the EQ and tweak your voice and do all kinds of stuff. Just remember where this reset defaults button is if you go too crazy with it. So this allows you basically set up 4 different profiles if you want to. I don't have anything set on these other ones, but now I said, what did I say originally? It was low pass, low shelf, something like that. What I had to do is pull this down, switch it to a high pass filter because that's what I wanted to use to get rid of the low end noise. And then once it said high pass, then this red will automatically go down here. In fact, here, let's do this. Reset defaults. So actually you can see where it put it. See, low shelf, I switched back to 1. Sorry. Reset defaults. Low shelf. Okay, see, it goes to a low shelf filter. So what you'll need to do is go switch, high pass. You'll see it puts it there, and kind of by default, it puts it in a spot that actually ended up working for me. I didn't have to change it much, but you can, again, drag this in and out to, and you can actually watch it flatten the yellow as you pull it out. Let's see, where is there? No, we don't want to go into that. So yeah, that's just to keep it simple. You'll go in here, you turn on high pass, take this thing and listen to the noises in your room, and pull it in. So this is using an EQ as a high pass filter to get rid of low rumblings. So that should be fairly simple. Once it's done, you close it. This is all set, and you close that. And now it will be limiting that rumbling. So if I'm really quiet now, you can see how it dropped that Samson down to where it's not picking up hardly anything if I'm not talking. So just for information, let me show you the other thing that's in here. This de-esser, what this is when you're talking, S's, or when you say S's and T's, I just faced right into the microphone to make them worse. Situation, so any t sounds tend to come through a little stronger, just like pops do if you don't have a pop filter in front of your microphone. What the DS is it looks all fancy here. It's just a compressor designed to compress. So you see what's happened here. When I go s like that, you hear this. See this red go pulling way down? This is the signal here, right? And then this is where this de-esser is set. Anything it hears in the frequencies that are set up here, within that frequency, it will start compression. So if you see the red coming down, that's the de-esser turning down the volume on that particular frequency, which is where this is for me. So you see how hard that's compressing when I go s. It's really clamping down on the voltage. So that's a de-esser. Not normally a problem. It's just something I played with because I could. Now this is a plug-in inside of those other ones, and it's actually inside of one of the ones inside of, so it's tricky to find. So don't go there unless you really want to play. Main thing, you'll have noise suppressor, you have some sort of gate, which are just the ones built into to OBS. As you can see, I'm only using the noise suppression one to kill the noise level a little bit. And then the EQ is the one that kills the low rumbling in the room. So hopefully that wasn't completely confusing. Hopefully that works for how you set up. Good luck. For the person this is specifically intended for, you know how to find me if you have questions. Excuse me. So let's put that back out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this down, and then, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Excuse me. Go watch it back to see if it worked before I move it over to YouTube so it can be watched. Talk to you later. Bye. Whoops. Let me tell it to go to standby. Now I'll do the transition and say goodbye.